Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff, and that's always also published on Rumble. And yeah, it's this time of the year, it's going to be tricky to come up with some publishing some gaming episodes, like the busyness of all this thing here. It's a little bit tricky here, at least until the end of this year, which is we are in the 27th, so only 3 more days than the end of the year festivities. I will try my best if I can manage to get around doing some recordings of the gaming episodes. But I cannot promise anything until at least like one of the 1st or the 2nd of January to start up on the gaming series here. I apologize regarding that. Regarding the rest, this is a very quiet time in terms of gaming news and or even hardware news. We have that lull time of the CES where we shall see some big announcements, I suppose. But yeah, in terms of the Rumble stuff, I'm catching up with XCOM 2 re-uploads there until it catches up with YouTube. Yeah, basically this is it. And again, I got the backlog of posts here on the blogger stuff and extra support on the Patreon. Everything is published there also. Yeah, basically this is it. Yeah, there's a lot of good gaming deals. But yeah, not much happening. I just noticed here with the continuing with the theme of yesterday, the 12-volt power shenanigans here again. How do I say it? I think this spec is garbage. I don't know what else to say. It's starting to every time there is some news here, it's just to reinforce that this spec of 12-volt power, they change it to 2x6 power. Yeah, it's not a good one. But yeah, supposedly Seasonic, there was one that they recommended air try. I think I talked about this one yesterday. I'm not sure. I see so many stuff regarding this one, which is, yeah, it's possible. It's something that it's used to if you know how to do it well, if you are accustomed to deal with this kind of thing regarding DIY. I don't think it's like a big issue. I don't think usually normal air dryers will produce enough heat to like I think, no, I'm sure that usually a hair dryer is not going to produce enough heat to like, for example, melt the connections and the solder and everything. It might in extreme cases, if the cable covering is terrible, might melt, but it's almost impossible. So there is kind of no wrong. What you might happen is you can burn your hand securing the cable. But yeah, it's a little bit comical there, trying to get a little bit more than what it is. But yeah, it's just a matter to try to heat up enough the plastic so it can be more malleable. That's the main intent there. But again, if you're not accustomed to do this kind of things, and again, it's not this kind of rigid plastic that you should be able to or you should do anything about it. This is rigid for a purpose. It's not to be tweaked or not even opened. It's one of those things that you don't touch. It's more about the cable itself be more malleable as possible, so you can with a little bit of heat, the cable is more malleable, and then of course when it cools down it will be less malleable, so that's why you usually heat the cable. But yeah, supposedly Seasonic now is doing some free of charge 90-degree angle power cable. Again, this is for free. This is like kind of a beta testing. This thing is I started to see this a little bit more here and there, where basically, especially you see a lot with this with gaming, in games itself, where the game is not well optimized, and they just kind of launch the game and hope for some feedback for Q&A testing, so everybody can complain what the issues are, so they can do the proper patching of the game. And I hope this kind of trend doesn't creep out in hardware. Kind of beta testing, where they launch, oh, we're going to offer you some free upgrades or some free stuff here, so you can test each other, the things. And especially when you start doing this thing with this is not good. Beta testing, the 100, it's only 100. To a certain degree, it's only 100, which is it's 99 too much, in my view. Of a 90-degree angle power cable, it's connected directly to the PSU, so there is no shenanigans in terms of adapters. But still, it's kind of a beta testing to see if it, at least they know which how it's in terms of a company. They know kind of, okay, we're going to offer 100 cables for free. We're going to kind of beta test this. We assume that everything is okay, but at least we got not a sizable sample, but we got a limited sample. We know what kind of people, who has this kind of sampling, and we will try to check out with them periodically to see if everything is okay. I assume that's something like that, but the consumer side, this is not good. It's like the new connector, so it's not something that it's proven to be working 100% sure, and plus the added fact that it is the 12-volt power kind of specification here, which again, it's trash at my point. You have this kind of, again, I will hammer this home every time I speak with regarding this. You see this, the physical connections here, the squares and the slots here. On the 12-volt power pin, it's smaller in terms of physical, the physical pins itself, even the metal ones, the connections where you make. Again, the less surface area you have in an electrical connection, the more resistant it gains. Again, resistance is going to increase temperatures, or the likelihood of increasing temperatures, and especially when you have at this moment in time the PCI 8 kind of cables there. You have 4 of them to pass through 600 watts, so you, the resistance or that it's needed to pass 600 watts is divided for all those 4 main cables. While in 12-volt power pins, those 600 watts are just in one cable, so it has less, how do I say it? It has less cable to pass through the electricity, which when it reaches the strangleholds, which is always the connections between the PSU and then in the GPU, it by itself, not taking into account the pin not socketing it properly, or the sense pins, taking by just the fact how electricity works, the more power you try to pass through a cable, the more surface area is it's better in the area of contact, so you don't increase the resistance of that connections. And yeah, and then when you start adding situations where because the connections are smaller, so the tolerance on manufacturing those connectors is smaller, you have to be even more precise, so there is less tolerance on the manufacturer. Then you have the technology of the sense pins, where you have to have them properly seated or not. Then you have the fact that the wiggle room those cables have been had, of the fact that they are not even properly seated, if they just come out like half a millimeter, it can be just enough for the resistance to be increased exponentially. I don't know what else. It's so much stuff there that again, I think we will be better served if they're again, in my opinion, even though I'm not an electric engineer, but at least it makes more logical sense to me, is you have increased, you can put it in just one like plug here, like the 12-volt power pin. You can call it 12 extra volt powers or whatever you want to call it, just change this and put it, even if you have to use a little bit bigger socket here, like this one. It's like the double size. You have like 8 plus 4 is 12. I think it's better suited because the resistance connection will be less, and it even if it has you have like a little bit in terms of manufacturing, a little bit more tolerance. It's something that the manufacturer, I suppose, already manufactured. You have a big enough socket in terms of physical socket to, if you want to make two these things here that click on the connectors, on the connector itself, you can have the sense pins, whatever it is, shorten or whatever it is they need to do. But yeah, 600 watts that were previously divided in 4 different connections, now they are all together in one. Yeah, and they even shrink even more than one of those previously connections that were made, because PCI 8 was delivering 150 watts, and it's basically a smaller pin to a certain degree of 12 volt powers in terms of how space it occupies, and you're trying to put 600 watts there. It's possible because a lot of them are working, but again, the main issue is the 4090s and maybe some models of the 4080s that do the overclocking. That I think it's more about exceeding that point of when you start using more than 450 watts, give or take, or you start reaching that kind of area, because the 4090 demands more power. 4080s and the 4070s, they are pretty efficient. They don't pass the 300 watts or the 400 watts kind of a thing there in terms of peak performance. They don't demand that much power. The 4090 does demand more power, and I think that's the main issue there. You can pass through, I think, this kind of connection. I think it's enough if you put it, I don't know, let's make it 300 watts, or you can make it even for 400 watts, let's say it, and then you make a second 12 volt power pin for another extra 400 watts. I don't know, something to this point. This kind of connection here, especially the physical connection, I don't think it can handle the 600 watts consistently in a long period of time, where before you have the 8 power, the 8 PCI stuff that lasts for a decade, sometime in most cases, without any issues, and you see this in a few months. We all having issues, people that are having issues with this kind of connection. Again, they just need to put their shit together and backtrack this and not double down, which is something that we'll be seeing a lot in a lot of places where people, they know that they screwed the pooch, but instead of backing it down, they said, okay, we need to see the situation in another way because like this didn't work properly. No, they usually just double down on doing something that should be done. But yeah, this is another ramble, a huge epic ramble for another day when the time comes. But yeah, in terms of this, again, scratch this or make it this kind of 12 volt power situation for less wattage. I don't know, again, the 400 watts seems like a more decent number to me. You can leave it with the sense pins, just or else just make a new, completely more decent, bigger physical connection there with more cables, because it's not even the cables here, it's the connection itself, the materials, the plastic itself. You got the cable mod stuff, which is like custom made. Again, it has more, the fact that the 90 angle things there, and the fact that it's an adapter, it has more connection points where the resistance can increase to a certain point, to a certain degree. And again, it's the 600 watt stuff. I think it's too much for this specification in terms of the size of a connection. and it's even the cables itself. It's the soldering points of where everything connects here and there. And of course, the more type of connections you have between the PSU and the whatever it is, a GPU or the board itself, the more kind of connections you have in terms of pins, like putting an adapter in a cable, it tends to increase the resistance of the overall connection from the power delivery to the power recipient component there. But yeah, that's my ramble for today. And I don't have anything more that catches up my attention, so we'll get with the gaming deals here. This game, never saw this game. This is like a puzzle game, Human Resource Machine on Epic Game Store, the free game. In about 9 hours from the time of recording this, we should have another game. Again, pay attention and come here every day, at least until the end of the year. It seems that's how it's working for Epic Game Store at the moment, and check if the free game is for you. In terms of Steam, I'm going a little bit not like AAA games. I'm going to cover a little bit more like kind of indie games, which is at this moment in time Darkest Dungeon, 80% off, very good game. Darkest Dungeon 2, I don't think it reached kind of the heights that they hope for, but again, Darkest Dungeon 1, pretty good. And we got the Instructor Collection, which has a lot of more content to play with. Again, if you like turn-based combat, kind of roguelike elements there, and like the base management and everything, and squad management, again, this is a pretty good game to immerse yourself here. We got also Battletech, turn-based strategy, kind of with mech stuff there, very positive reviews all over the place from Airbraid Schemes. I think this is the same ones that did Lamplighters League, that wasn't received that hugely well, but this one is a pretty good one. And you got some season pass stuff and mercenary collection. Again, but it's the base game is 75% off, so if you like the game, if you buy in like, or you can buy the digital deluxe edition, which has a little bit more stuff there. And I think it's I like this kind of games, turn-based games. It's for me, especially if they have more like customization stuff and management of the mechs itself. Pretty interesting how they're going about it. It's very interesting, this one, in terms of customizing your mechs and managing like classes and everything. Seems pretty good. We got also Mutineer Zero. Again, you got in this one, you got a demo. It's 60% off. I managed to claim this one on Epic Game Store a few months ago. I will be doing when I can a gameplay of this game. And also from these guys here, we got Miasma Chronicles. It's 60% off also, and you got a bundle here if you like to buy the two of them. Also, we got here 80s, again, one of those action roguelikes that overwhelmingly positive. I think it's been winning prizes since it launched. Winning prizes. He won a lot of prizes when it launched. It's been a while now, like almost 2-3 years. The sequel is already being announced. Yeah, the story, how it integrates on the mechanics of being a roguelike are pretty decent. It's one of those that I will, if not doing a gameplay series, I will play it by myself when I can, after I bought it, of course. But yeah, it's one of those that I think it's well worth it, and it's 50% off. We got also Dead Stranding Director's Cut, 50% off, $20. Even though it's yeah, the PC port is from 2022, but the game is from 2019 or 2020. I'm sorry, I'm not sure when it came out. Again, I started playing this game. I managed to claim it on Epic Game Store, the Director's Cut version, like a few months ago also. I'm playing by myself. Yeah, I'm still in the beginning, but it's very interesting. At least in terms of mechanics, it's got the courier missions a lot. But again, it's a Kojima game. Got a lot of story and a lot of not exposition, but a lot of stuff, information that it's coming coming at us, and I'm trying to figure out how everything cobbles together in the universe itself. But yeah, it's at least it's interesting how the game plays out. And yeah, 50% of it's a Kojima game, so you will get entertained somehow, some way, for sure. We got also Vampire Survivors, 20% off. Well, again, it's only even like $10 with all the DLC and even the OST. Oh my god, the soundtrack. Again, if you like this kind of bullet hell action roguelike style, it's pretty entertaining, this kind of game. Again, it's made by a handful of people, so it's indie in that very sense, and I think it's well worth the price. Even at full price here, I think it's more than well worth it. We got also Dave the Diver, and with Dave the Diver they have now the dredging, and no, this is a bundle of the two games, which is the Dredge, or not the Dredge, but Dredge. And there is a content in collaboration with Dredge in this game. And again, this game is pretty good. It's one of those that left me curious. Yeah, it's one of those that I would like to try out. Seems pretty fantastical here, and how you do your things here, and got a lot of stuff to manage. Especially there is the thing where you fishing and then you cook what you fish. Seems pretty interesting. We got also Prey, again the one that I'm doing, the gaming series here. I'm going along, chugging along here. It's an immersive sim, first-person shooter, very arcane from Arcane Studios, of course, very in their vein. And it's a very underrated game, in my opinion. Didn't get the enough attention at the time, mainly because of the title, how they had to use this title from a previous game, when it's not what it is, in terms you don't know the game only by the title. It's pretty good game so far, and I'm very excited to continue with that. And if you want to catch up with the shenanigans, I'm doing a gameplay series on this one. Got also the BioShock, the collection, so it's basically BioShock and BioShock 2 remastered with all the DLC plus BioShock Infinite, and that DLC also. It's between 75. It's basically 75% off. It's not 20. It's not $12 because I already have BioShock Infinite. So take it with around 7, 8. It's almost $20 for all the free games, if not mistaken, which is an excellent deal here. We got also Batman Arkham Collection. It's the free games plus the DLC season pass from Arkham Knight. Again, it's not this price because I already have these two first ones, so it's like $16 for the free games, give or take, so it's an excellent deal also. And finally, I chose this one, a Resident Evil Revelation, but all the Resident Evil games are on a deal here. I will leave the list of all of them, from the remakes to the mainline series. They're all on sale, and I will leave the list there for you to choose which ones. I at the moment have the Resident Evil 7 because I already made a few years ago the gameplay series, and I bought in the previous sale. I bought Resident Evil Village, so I can do the remake, kind of replay the Resident Evil 7 and then go through the Village there. But yeah, basically this is it, guys. I'm just going to wrap up with a plug on my Patreon. For extra support. That support at this moment is for storage, for me to be able to have backups of the stuff that I do for my private clients, and of course extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, guys, I hope you have a full day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.